Let the deja vu commence. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of the Long Dark in our Against All Odds series, where I feel like I've been here before. I'm not going to lie. I feel like this is a place that I have just been, for reasons that don't need to be explained to this particular audience, particularly if you've been watching my Long Dark content over the last, what, day? No, I'm kidding. Like week. 2 weeks. Fine. 3. But you get my point. We were here recently in another series, and it's weird. So, and here I am making it more weird by talking about it for the first more than half minute of the episode. So, I'm going to go ahead and just pass time, because there's really no point in me... Oh, hello, Aurora. There's no point in me setting out right now. I wonder if there might have been, like... I wonder if there's a possibility of hidden caches in this area. I mean, I don't think so. I think you have to repair the signal towers in order for the hidden caches. I know that because I tested it earlier in this series. So I don't think I would have found anything hidden there during that Aurora if I had checked. But, okay. Let's take a look at condition. I'm going to go ahead and eat some pancakes. Classic pancakes. Hot and heartwarming. Now, let's sleep for 3 hours. We're going to get like 1.5, 2. It's fine. It is what it is. Now we're going to pick up my bedroll, and I'm honestly... Alright, I do have to do some inventory management from the end of the last episode. There was a lot of stuff that happened. Mainly, I just picked up some things that I'm going to need to harvest. So let's go ahead and do that, because I will be able to repair some of my clothing items with this leather... That's an L. Leather. that I found. And we can go ahead and harvest the ragged wool scarf as well. Don't need it. And we can use that to improve the condition of all the rest. Oh yeah, that's right. We also have that extra toque. Let's definitely harvest that. No sense carrying around extra stuff. Okay. We're going to repair this shirt, or attempt repairing it. Thick wool sweater is in better shape. Let's repair the aviator cap as well. Need to be mindful of calories and water. And then finally, I mean, I could repair these last items. I don't know that I necessarily need to right now. I think I'd rather get on the road as soon as I possibly can. Let's see. What am I carrying that's heavy? Wow, my cat... You don't see that very often, do you? My cattails are heavier than my water. Holy crap. All right, let's eat some Bannocks. I'm going to need to be mindful of my thirst here. But the Bannocks need to go. All right, one more, and then it looks like I'm going to have to drink. Yep, there's that. Now, we're not as encumbered, thankfully. One of the reasons for that is all the cooking that we did at the end of the last episode. We got tons of porridge. We have plenty to live on, and I can start making my way towards the forge in Broken Railroad. Now, let me just make absolutely sure I didn't overlook anything stupid, because believe it or not, as I begin this recording, everyone get ready to celebrate. Are you ready? I'm ready to celebrate. I'm going to share. I try not to share this stuff too much, because it's better for me to, like... It's better for me to keep it in and just, like, enjoy it for the sake of the channel. But as of this recording, I haven't been able to do this all frickin' week after those last premieres a week ago, as of the moment you're watching this. I haven't been able to do this, but I am recording this ahead of schedule. Every morning over the last 7 days, there has been some form of unexpected shenaniganry. And finally, now that my days are a little bit more open, I'm getting ahead of schedule, which will make it easier to accommodate shenaniganry and stay ahead of schedule next week. So I'm Alright, I don't need every cattail here. It's so hard. I mean, I really do. Like, there's a part of me that wants, like, I want them all. But I know I don't need them all. I'm going into places where... Where are you? We've encountered lots of ptarmigan since I've been here. So, another way to down these ptarmigan, evidently, is to use rocks. So I'm going to attempt that, because here we are, again, lower difficulty, which means more shenanigans. I am historically atrociously bad with the throwing rocks in this game. Even when I'm not recording. It's disgraceful. I'm not even exaggerating. It's disgraceful how bad I am. There they are. With throwing rocks. But, you know, if I can get one ptarmigan and get some feathers before I leave, then so much the better. Or I could always try the revolver again. But here's the thing. How many am I going to be able to peg with, you know, with rocks? The likelihood that I'm going to be able to get... Alright, see, these are sitting properly on top of the snow, which makes me want to try the revolver. Okay. Alright, so... Got it. Managed to roll the rock into that one. First try. I'm so sorry. Oh, that almost happened on camera. Why would you... Okay. Okay. Well, we have a ptarmigan. Finally. Finally. Hey, there's a deer. Ooh, that's tempting. Okay, well, with that, hang on. We're going to double back here. And we're going to pluck that ptarmigan. I think I'm going to need to kill at least one or two more before I can do anything with the new down bedroll. But I would love to be able to make that thing. So there were two objectives that I was kind of pursuing. The primary objective was to, you know, go for Signal Void, which is what I'm doing now in this series. But also, at the end of our previous season and Against All Odds, I wanted the new bedroll. And I was looking actively for ptarmigan so that I could get the feathers that I needed. So the most sensible thing to do at this point is just double back to where there's shelter here. And, I mean, I can even cook the ptarmigan meat if I wanted to. Nothing stopping me. I have what I need to start another fire. Here, I'll even pick up this reclaimed wood so that I can absolutely have enough to cook the meat. I'm pretty encumbered. I imagine the bird's pretty heavy. I haven't looked at its weight yet. How much does it weigh? Yep, it's heavy. Definitely heavy. And some of the stuff I picked up is heavy too. We recovered most of the health that was lost while making our way in this general direction. So that's positive. Okay. So, this is what's nuts. It takes 3 hours. Oh wait, if you don't use a tool, what is up with that? Maybe I need a knife. Maybe that's what it is. So it takes 2 hours, 40 minutes. I don't have a knife yet. Apparently there was a... whatchamacallit? An improvised knife. At some point in the past. Missed that. Okay. Before I do anything here, let me... Alright, I'm actually out of water. That's interesting. I'm going to drink a couple of coffees. Because that will give me energy and it will get rid of some of the thirst and hunger problems that I'm dealing with at the moment. Yeah, and energy-wise, that puts me in a better place too. So, let's now spend 2 hours and 40 minutes and 667 calories harvesting these feathers. And then the meat, just 2.1 pounds of meat. That sounds like maybe a blizzard outside. Yeah. Yeah, that is 1000% a blizzard. Love that. Love everything about it. It's great. Can we put that on the radio, please? Pretty please. Thank you. Alright, so fresh ptarmigan, raw, 471 calories. I could cook it. There's nothing stopping me. Alright, I do not have a stick, however. And that's slightly problematic. So let's see if I can find one real quick. Seriously? Are you serious? You're gonna do this right now. You're actually gonna do this. Is this happening? Is this for real? Is this even real life? Like, what? Game. I just, like, I don't even need more than one. Thank you. Watch me be completely lost. I've wandered around. Now I'm lost in a blizzard, away from the road, and I'm gonna die. Because I couldn't find a stick. That would either be the end of my channel, or the most legendarily hilarious death in the history of the series and perhaps the game, or just yes. Or just all that. Okay. Would match. Not going to worry about the accelerant. 60% start chance. Makes me sad. We will be in Great Bear proper soon, and that will mean
come on, little fire.
More lootable locations. More skill books. And just more opportunities. Yeah, I felt that. I felt that, Jennifer. I'm with you. We're all with you, in fact. Thankfully, though, the stick doesn't get used up. Thankfully.
Come on, little fire.
Wow. 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 Happy to keep trying. The tinder gets used up, though, so I might have to break up some of that newspaper around me.
Come on, little fire.
The 60% start chance makes me remember the stuff I used to say when I would start fires. It's like, oh, that's a 3 in 5 chance, so it's only going to fail twice. And it's like, that's not how percentage chance works, obviously. But the point that I was always making by saying that was that I know how those work. Definitely had some people try and call me out on that back in the day. But I've got some stuff I can drop. That's good to know. The point that I was making is that, like, assuming this is a perfectly average day with nothing skewing one way really far, you know, to give us a lot of luck or give us, like, low luck. Assuming an average luck day, we're going to fail twice on a 60% start chance. That's how it works. That's the caveat you got to throw in if you're going to talk about probabilities that way. You're assuming a normal day. Okay. Let's go ahead and... Also, real quick, while I'm thinking about it... Improvised down bedroll. Wow. I need 6 more ptarmigan down. So, I mean, we're on the way, but it's going to be a while before we can actually do anything about that. Sad day. Alright, well, I'm not going to need all this wood. I'm really not. Alright, fresh ptarmigan raw. Let's go ahead and just enjoy the meat. Cooking skill has got to be pretty high, by the way. Can we just appreciate? Yeah, we're already almost at cooking 3, because the amount of cooking we've done. Which, you know, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm happy about it. Okay, I do need... Okay, yeah, I'm glad I remembered. Hold on, a couple of things. Tell you what, let's just use these. We got 52 minutes. If I add one more piece of coal, which I can do, it's fine. Alright, we're going to drink that potable water. Not thirsty. Let's go ahead and make more to the extent that we can. Okay, and now a very small amount. Well, I actually don't think there's anything more I can do unless I break up the torches that I have for sticks, which I could have done when I needed a stick in the first place, by the way. But I think the water that I've got is just fine. So I also think I can just leave those cans there. Let me double check my recycled cans. Yes, I can. I'm also going to drop that one. Yes, I can leave. I do have a pry bar. Okay, I somehow missed that last episode. Either that or I picked up a second one, which is entirely possible. But I somehow managed to overlook that. And I still am not dropping these burnt saplings. I'm not going to drop them now because I'm about to leave. But I guess I should wait out this storm a little bit first. Alright, I guess I'll eat the... I'm not going to eat the tomato soup at the moment. It's worth it to get rid of some of this porridge because 2 of these is almost an entire pound. So that's not bad. Okay. So this bedroll will eventually be awesome. Right now it is not. Let's go ahead and sleep for 5 hours. Shouldn't be too cold in here, especially with all the stuff we're wearing. Yep, temperature is just fine. Storm is still going, although, yeah, it's definitely still going. Wow. Wow. Okay. Hello? There you go. It's past time for another hour. It's got to be ending any second now, right? Like, it has to be. Another hour. There we go. It's gone now. All right. Let's sleep for an hour. Now I can actually leave. Now that 17 minutes of the episode have gone by. I blame the birds. I think that's entirely fair. Oh my god, it's dark. Alright. I think it's fair to blame the birds. Let's now drink... Actually, now we're going to enjoy that tomato soup. I could heat it. Doesn't matter though. It's fine. And let's drop that can. Because I don't need it. I also don't need that heavy hammer. Alright, here we go. Open door. And off we go. Oh wait, hang on. Obvious encumbrance choice here. So obvious. Alright, I'm seeing some cattails. Weather is definitely clearing, so likelihood of an aurora event in the next little while. But I'm loving the visibility because honestly, it makes nighttime walks, and against all odds, a lot easier. The light is weird though. What's up with the light right now? I mean, it's probably just a sky change happening, but for a second, that orange glow was kind of unnerving. I have a lot of picked plants in my inventory. I've got acorns, I've got rose hips. I don't think I have any reishi mushrooms. I've walked past a bunch of those. Hi, dear. Hi, demon. I'm not going to attack you, don't worry. Mind your business. Mind your business. Okay, now... there is a cave... not up here, I don't think. Exploration time. Okay, no, this doesn't look like it's... yeah, this doesn't look remotely passable. Okay, no, that's not passable. Alright. Let's step back over here. I wonder if reloading the game after we left the Forsaken Airfield, I wonder if that fixed the acorn thing. No, it's still jacked up. They're differently colored now, oddly enough, which makes me feel like the problem is related to time of day somehow. Anyway. Oh, did I pick up my freaking... Oh, no. Right, there it is. For a second, I thought I might have left it. But I didn't. I've got it. And honestly, at this point, like, if I were to leave my bedroll somewhere right now, I wouldn't freak out. And the reason is I have lots of coffee, first of all. So with that coffee, I could stay awake as long as I want. Destroy my sleep schedule, if we were talking about actual caffeine. But I could. And then I'd make my way into Great Bear proper, where things were generally being more cooperative anyway, in terms of, like, finding bedrolls, finding several ruined cans of pork and beans. Although, at this point in the game, especially because I have loot degradation tuned down from Against All Odds Season 7, that's not going to be as much of a concern. You know what would be really nice, by the way? You know what would be real nice? I think it would be real nice, just saying, if in this cave, especially once we get to the portion of the cave where we're walking through man-made tunnels and facilities for a moment, in these caves, in these tunnels, if I were to encounter a storm lantern of some kind, that would be nice. I'm just saying. Also, that train car was kind of spooky coming out of the distance. Anyone else just almost jump a little bit? A little bit? Not a lot, just a little. If so, you're not alone. Kind of startled me a bit. I was like, oh. That's a giant shape looming out of the darkness right in front of me. If I weren't as familiar with this game as I am, I would have been more concerned. It's also really weird to be walking this path right now and, like, not absolutely mining the place for coal. I mean, I'm definitely picking it up as I see it, but I'm also not, like, looking in all directions. That was a very interesting moment with our previous arrival to Broken Railroad. Again, I'm going to make these comparisons somewhat just to keep the two runs distinct in my mind and in yours, because this is so similar to what we were just doing in Season 7. That was something that was really interesting because we got back to the forge, but then didn't quite have enough coal. And that's honestly my fault. I could have heated the fire up as much as possible with standard fuel first, and then started adding coal, and then it would have been fine. But I needed one more piece of coal, and we had to travel almost all the way back to the Forsaken Airfield to find one piece of coal, and the fire was still going when I got back. That was wild. Okay. That reminds me, speaking of caves and tunnels, there is a cave coming up. There's also a wolf coming up, most likely. And if an aurora were to start in the next couple of minutes, it would be somewhat inconvenient timing. Hold on. Alright, those are rocks. I had my hand off of my mouse for a split second there. Alright, so the flare is handy. I might end up using a flare to walk in just a second instead of this torch. This is a nice torch, though. Alright, I'm going to pick up that stick, because you never know when you might need one, and suddenly, for some stupid reason, not be able to find one. That's a bunny. Alright. Likelihood of wolf is intensifying. Wolf is mainly, as far as I've seen here, on the left-hand side. Thankfully, we're pretty warm at the moment. Right, I think I might actually see the wolf, maybe. No, that's just a branch. It's an absolutely amazing time to have random itches on my face. Let me tell you. Great timing. Again, not super concerned about wolves in this run. They're a little bit weaker, but they're still stronger than stalker wolves. So they will hurt me. And there are more of them, especially during an aurora. They are absolutely to be feared. Especially now that that's the song that's playing in the background. There are some of you who are hearing a lot of this soundtrack for the very first time, which might be strange for some of you to hear me say that. Like, wait, how have you not heard the soundtrack before if you played this game? I've heard from at least one commenter in the past little while who's regularly watched a lot of Long Dark content but not played, as many of you have. Grateful for just to have you here, because I know that for some of you, maybe even many of you, like, your experience with this game is limited exclusively to watching me play it or watching other people play it, which is, it's really cool in a way. Like, you're really just leaning into the narrative side of things, whether it's by choice or by necessity, not being able to pick up the game or whatever it is. Glad that you're here. But this person mentioned that they didn't know that the game had music because someone that they watched play it a lot had turned off the music on account of copyright issues, which made me so sad to hear, because those of you who are more familiar with it made me sad for all involved, honestly, the audience and the streamer. I don't know who the streamer was, and I wouldn't name them if I did, because I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but it's just like, it's just a general PSA. If you don't know this, the copyrighted songs in the Long Dark are the licensed songs, the performed songs with vocals. For example, The Lion's Roar by First Aid Kit. Oh, such a good song. That is a licensed song, so if you try to stream that or put it on YouTube, you'll get DMCA'd on Twitch or copyright struck, or at the very least you get a copyright claim on YouTube. But the soundtrack you're hearing right now, all of the music in survival mode in Sandbox is composed in-house. Well, not in-house, but it's composed by Sasha Dikichian, who composed the music for the Long Dark, and it's not licensed in the same way. So you can stream it, and you can record video, like you won't get copyright struck. And so, for those of you hearing this soundtrack for the first time, first of all, enjoy. Second of all, this track very typically plays when there's an aurora threatening. Not always, as you can see. I can actually remember several times, maybe once or twice already in this season, but certainly in Against All Odds Season 7, and off of YouTube in recent months, where I heard this track playing, but it didn't coincide with an aurora. But I think it does tend to coincide with clear nights, which clear nights coincide with aurora. So there's multiple variables, perhaps. Alright, not sure where the wolf is. The fact that I haven't run into it yet either means it had not spawned, or isn't present on these spawn settings in this region. Okay, so I am going to take the somewhat unusual route. As much as I could go straight that direction and just be on the bridge and keep going, we're going to go for the cave, because there could be stuff in the cave. There could be stuff worth finding here. So we're going to veer this direction, even though we don't have to in terms of, like, expediency, in terms of what would be fastest. Okay, let's light a flare. I guess I will go ahead and harvest a few more rose hips and get inside. Okay, now still pretty encumbered. Need to be as careful as I can manage. There's some coal. I don't need to pick up all the coal. I really don't. Wait, was there another piece there? No. Oh, yep. Oh, no, maybe not. Yeah, it's a rock. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I need to be as careful as I can manage with this flare, because the downside of having a flare for light instead of having a storm lantern, which we might find a storm lantern here. We'll see. It's not likely, but it's not impossible. The downside of having this as your lighting is that obviously the lighting is very monotone. There's a lot of red. It tends to wash out the contrast and the saturation between different colors. And so spotting things like coal and differentiating things like coal from just rocks on the ground becomes harder thanks to this light source. If you had just normal whitish yellow light, which is closer to daylight, from either from a torch or from a lantern, then it would be fine. Okay, hang on. I've got to check both of these passageways. Oh, interesting. I wasn't expecting to see an opening in both directions. Okay, I don't remember what's down here, so we're just gonna do some light scouting. Aha! Hunting knife! Finally! Antibiotics. Ketchup chips. I don't need any more sticks. I think I'm fine. Thank you for that. Was there something else there? Nope. Yeah, see, the freaking flare light is messing with me. Alright, so there's some coal. I just need to bear in mind, like, coal is not light at all. Alright, there's some firewood. I'm gonna bring that with me, not because I need to lug it far, but because I might need a pretty decent fire before long. And I might need a fire that I pull some torches off of, and having... I mean, walking a little bit slower for a bit because of that is okay. I'm alright with it. Alright, so let's head down this way. This just seems like such a similar room, but it's not. That was tripping me out.
This much gear.
Yeah, I remember this. Okay. So here's another flare. Nice. Got a replacement flare. Always fun to find a second flare right as you're near the end of the lifespan of one that you've lit. That's something you don't really get to experience a lot once you start playing on Interloper difficulty or higher. And you know what? Since we're relatively early in the series, this is a good opportunity for me to share a piece of advice that I very often share with new Long Dark players. If you're watching, and speaking of those of you who haven't played the game yet, but that have watched a lot of it played and might be thinking about picking it up next opportunity you get, for the record, if you are new to the Long Dark, even if you love survival games, even if you feel like you've watched a lot and you feel like you're... I heard a charm again. And you feel like your knowledge level is sufficient, don't start on Interloper difficulty. I repeat, do not jump right in on Interloper. And it's not because you're gonna die or because I'm trying to warn you or protect you from, like, danger. No. I am trying to warn you and protect you, but from something different. So Interloper difficulty, like very similarly to if you've played State of Decay 2, as I have played a little bit with Athenon on his Twitch channel back in the day. If you played State of Decay 2, they added lethal difficulty after there was a nightmare difficulty in the game since launch. What's the comparison? Why do I bring it up? It's pretty straightforward, actually. These are high-level difficulties that were added after the game had been out for a few years and players got really good and wanted more challenge, having kind of mastered the top tier difficulty. There's a wolf right there. So another tier was added. So my advice ever since Interloper dropped, it's never really changed. Hang on, I'm just going to run this wolf off. I don't want to deal with it right now. Because I'm encumbered. If we got in a fight with the wolf right now, it wouldn't necessarily go well. And I have no desire to deal with a wolf at the moment. So I'm going to try to get up the cliff here before I have to fight him. Oh boy, this is going to be close. I don't like it. I'll finish my thought in just a second, I promise. Alright, I'm good. So, just bear in mind that Interloper as a mode was added after the game had been out for years and people had gotten really good at Stalker. And so what I'd say is, if you feel like you're a good survival game player and you're new to the Long Dark, play on Stalker. I've said this probably in every single Against All Odds series I've ever done. Certainly the ones back in the day, probably in Against All Odds Season 7 as well. Probably more than once. Because it's such an important point, and I want to make sure people know it. Like, if you feel like you're a really good survival player, great. Start on Stalker, which is similar to the level I'm playing on now. I'm playing on a custom difficulty, but start on Stalker. And then, once you've mastered it, then step up. Then start Interloper. Because what you then get to experience is the joy of the challenge of the Long Dark twice. Because when you start playing Interloper again as an experienced Long Dark player, everything old is new again. The intensity is back. It's wonderful, and you don't want to rob yourself of that. So, that's my spiel. Those of you who've been around on the channel for a long time have heard it many times. Different versions over the years. Also, have I been playing for 38 minutes? What the hell? Okay, well, I guess I just kind of wasted a flare then, because I have to end this episode. Just need to find a reasonable spot at which to do it. Alright, so you can force this door open. Yep. Alright, so that's my way back out. And I kind of do... Yeah, truth be told, here's what I'm going to do. It's warm enough in here. I hate to waste a flare. But I'm going to pop this thing down right here. I'm also going to enjoy this Summit Soda before I sleep. Definitely more encumbered than I need to be right now. I'm just going to sleep for an hour. I could sleep for more. But I could drink some coffee when I wake up too, so I'll either sleep more or drink some coffee. But for now, I just want to use that as my save point. I'm going to stop this episode here. 8 days, 23 hours, 21 minutes. Not bad. We are going to head back into Broken Railroad in the next episode, which will be fun. And there'll be lots to explore, not only in the shed, but when we get up to the hunting lodge. And I'm hoping that before we even go farther than Broken Railroad, by virtue of that place I just mentioned, that we will have a rifle by the time that we are exploring Great Bear proper and needing to reach all of these locations that are mentioned with regard to the Signal Void quest. So, that's on the docket for the next episode, or 2 or 3. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If you're not new here, look for the join button to get access to channel unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes drop every day but Wednesday at 1 p.m. US Eastern Time, and comments are always welcome, so leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time.